Hey guys, welcome to this week's video, and in this week's video I'm going to be going through what I think are the best Warlock spells in D&D 5e. This video will be taking on a similar format to a video I made before about the best Cleric spells. So I'll be going through all the Warlock spells going from Cantrips all the way to 9th level and highlighting two honourable mentions that I think are solid spells and then one spell that I think is just the best one to take at that level. I should say I don't include the subclass specific spells just because not every Warlock subclass can take those, and therefore I feel these are just the general Warlock spells that you can choose from. Starting with Cantrips, the two honourable mentions are Mind Sliver because of its intelligence save and the -1d4 for the next round, and Green Flame Blade because for Hexblades it's just a really powerful cantrip. But I think there's an obvious choice when it comes to Warlocks, and that is Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast is a key component of the Warlock class. How many Eldritch invocations make it better, and so every Warlock just ends up choosing it anyway, and that's why it is the best Warlock cantrip. Moving on to first level spells, the first honourable mention is Arms of Hadar, just because of its decent damage and the no reactions, so any creature within its area can take a reaction, and so it's a good kind of spell to get out of harm's way. And then the second one is Armour of Agathis, just because of its upcasting capabilities. Once again, great for Hexblades, but any Warlock can take it. But I think the best first level Warlock spell is Hex. It gives you extra consistent force damage and the disadvantage on a certain type of ability check, be it Strength, Wisdom, Dex, Con, whatever. It's just a really useful first level spell for Warlocks, just that extra damage, and that's why I think Hex is the best one. For second level spells, the honourable mentions are Hold Person because paralysing an enemy target is always useful, and Misty Step because it's a bonus action, which means you could cast Eldritch Blast on the same turn. But I think the best second level spell for Warlocks is Shadow Blade. It's a bonus action to cast, it does 2d8 psychic damage on each attack, and you get advantage on attacks with it if you're in dim light or darkness. It's a great melee spell for Warlocks, and that's why I think Shadow Blade is the best second level choice for any Warlock, really. Moving on to third level, and this is where I feel Warlocks really start to get a bit heavy-hitted in their spells. The first one I chose is Thunderstep. It does 3d10 thunder damage, and you can teleport up to 90 feet away with an ally, so it's a great get out of jail free card. The next one is Hunger of Hadar. You create a 20-foot radius darkness sphere. It does 2d6 cold damage if a creature starts its turn there. If it ends its turn, it takes 2d6 acid damage, and also it creates the air, makes the area difficult terrain, so it's a great, good solid spell. But I think the best third level spell for Warlocks is Hypnotic Pattern. You create a 30-foot cube. Any creature within the cube must make a wisdom save, and then they are charmed, incapacitated, and their speed is reduced to 0 while they're under the effects of Hypnotic Pattern. The ability to just take complete control of a huge area like that, and especially with Warlocks who get such limited spells, something that powerful is really useful for them. For fourth level spells, the honourable mentions are Banishment because you can just end the fight with it, and Shadow of Moil. Shadow of Moil, obviously you get the resistance, the extra damage. When you're hit, someone takes damage. The only reason I didn't make it the best one was because of the cost. It's kind of it has a really expensive and specific material component, and that's why I didn't make it the best one. The best one I think fourth level spell is Sickening Radiance. You create a 30-foot radius sphere of like greenish light. Any creature in it has to make a con save, and if they fail they take 4d10 radiant damage, and they take 1 level of exhaustion, and they can't go invisible because they're glowing from the green light. All these effects end once the spell ends, but it's just high damage, and that extra exhaustion is what makes it just a really powerful spell for Warlocks to take at 4th level. For 5th level, my honourable mentions are Hold Monster, because it's just a better hold person. Fire Step, because it's a bonus action to teleport 60 feet, and you can use your bonus action on subsequent turns to teleport another 60 feet. So it's just a really useful bounce around the kind of like area spell. But I think the best 5th level spell is Synaptic Static. It's a 20-foot radius sphere. Intelligence save, so not many creatures have high intelligence, so it's very useful. They take 8d6 psychic damage, and if they fail, they get a minus 1d6 from their attacks and ability checks, and a minus 1d6 to any any constitution saving throws they'd make to concentrate on a spell. I feel it's the kind of shining spell for 5th level Warlock spells. 5th level actually feels the weakest part for the Warlock spells. I don't think any of them are too exceptionally great compared to the other levels, but Synaptic Static is still a very good spell. Now, moving on to 6th level and above, this is where Warlocks get their Mystic Arcanum. So for this one in particular, you got to be very careful what spell you choose, because you can only cast it once per day and you only get the one spell. So it's really important which ones you choose. So for 6th level, the honorable mentions are Mass Suggestion, because being able to make 12 creatures do something is really powerful, and Eye Bite, because making a creature unconscious, frightened, or give them disadvantage on attacks and ability checks is extremely powerful. But I feel the best one is Mental Prison. It's an intelligence save again. The creature will take 5d10 psychic damage, and they're restrained. If they attempt to move out of the area or attack out in the area or anything like that, they'll take a further 10d10 psychic damage. Mental Prison is by far the best 6th level spell a Warlock can take. It is so ridiculously powerful, and I would highly recommend it. Moving on to your 7th level Mystic Arcanum. I feel once again with this one, there is one spell that just shined above the others. The honorable mentions are Crown of Stars, just because being able to do that extra damage is useful. 4d12 Radiant. I'm never going to complain about that. And Plane Shift, being able to teleport people. But I feel like for Warlocks, the big part is being able to teleport enemies away with the charisma save. You can just force them to make a charisma save after making a melee spell attack, and then they can be teleported to whatever plane you want to send them to. But I feel the shining spell for 7th level is Forcecage. There is no save. You just create the area and the creature is trapped in there. If the creature tries to teleport out, they have to make a charisma save against obviously your spell save DC, so that would be ridiculously high by the time you get to 7th level. And it being charisma, it's one of those stats you don't see monsters typically get high in, so Forcecage by far is just the best 7th level Mystic Arcanum spell you can take for a Warlock. 8th level, Glibness, one of my favourite spells by name. Glibness is an honourable mention. Essentially, it makes all your charisma checks have a minimum of 15, but if you have 20 charisma, it means your minimum is 20. The best use of this, I feel, is for counter spells and spell magics, because they are technically charisma checks if you cast beneath the spell level. So I feel like that's the best use for it, but it's not the best 8th level spell. The other honorable mention is a Maddening Darkness. Once again, solid kind of damaging spell. Great area of darkness, so if you have Devil Sight, you can kind of complement this. But I feel the best 8th level spell for Warlocks just is Dominate Monster. You can just take complete control of another creature and they kind of just become your minion. It's great for in combats if you want to just have a monster who's just going to absorb so much damage. Just be wary that if you do control someone and send them in to just absorb damage, every time they take damage, they get to make a save to break the spell. So just be wary of that. But yeah, Dominate Monster, the best 8th level Warlock spell to choose. And finally, the big bad 9th level spells. I feel that the choices here were once again kind of obvious. The honorable mentions are True Polymorph, because being able to turn into whatever you like is stupidly powerful. And the other honorable mention is Psychic Scream. You can target 10 creatures. Once again, the intelligence save, so it's really, really difficult to save against. Take 14d6 psychic damage, and they are stunned. And they remain stunned until they make the save. So it is just ridiculously powerful. However, there is something I feel that is even more powerful, and it's because Psychic Scream is just your once-off cannonball shot, where this spell I feel is the 9th level spell Mystic Arcanum you should take, and that is Foresight. It lasts for 8 hours, and while you've cast it on the creature or yourself, the creature can't be surprised. They have advantage on attacks, ability checks, and saving throws, and attacks against them have disadvantage. It is a ridiculously powerful spell and extremely useful for any spellcaster that casts it on themselves, or you could even cast it on an ally, and it lasts for 8 hours. So it's really good. Guys, that was the list. There's a lot of spells there. I feel like actually Warlocks have one of the smaller spell lists, so I kind of went through them. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know if I left any spells out in the comment section below, or if you think I was completely wrong with one section. I feel like there's definitely some there. Maybe with a third level choosing Hypnotic Pattern, maybe there was a better choice. I would love to know what you think. Please say so in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please do give it a like. And for many more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscriber button. We're crawling to 150 subs, and it'd be great to get there. And then to make sure you never miss another video, hit the little notification bell, and you'll be notified every time I post a video. Guys, I hope you have an amazing week of D&D adventures, and I'll catch you all in the next video.